Hi everyone, I'm Chef Nikki Brown. Welcome to my home kitchen in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here to show you a recipe that is great for families, great for parties, and all around uses leftovers in your kitchen. Not expensive, everybody can do it. What you can't see here is I have a prep station with my ingredients on it. So I'll tell you what you're going to be working with. And I also have a sink. So the recipe we're doing today is Italian rice balls. A lot easier than you think. I'm going to start with some leftover rice. This happens to be risotto that I made the other night. Who can ever finish all that rice? So this happens to be pesto flavored, and because it's flavored already, it eliminates one of the steps I need to season it. So pesto's great, kind of basil flavor, garlic. And I like to use risotto because it's a little bit stickier than regular rice, but regular rice works just fine for this recipe. I also have some beaten eggs. Now, depending on how many rice balls you want to make, it's how many eggs and breadcrumbs that you're going to need. This happens to be about 3 eggs. I also seasoned it. Even when you're just doing frying, you want to season everything that you have. So there's some pepper in here, some Cajun seasoning, some salt, just a little bit of pick-me-up, because normally when you fry something, if you don't season it, it comes out a little bit bland. Don't be afraid of the Cajun seasoning. When you fry it, it compensates for it a little bit. It's not going to be spicy. What I also like to do is take leftovers I have in my fridge and make them into other recipes. So here I have some cheddar cheese I just cut into cubes. I have some leftover hot dog pieces that I cut into chunks. And I have some string cheese. This is good old-fashioned mozzarella. It melts just fine. You don't need shredded cheese or a block of cheese. Every household has string cheese, right, if you've got kids. So that's what I'm going to use for the inside of the rice balls. And what I have here is breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs I have are a little bit more special in the fact that they used to be stuffing. I didn't have breadcrumbs today, but you can use any kind of breadcrumbs that you have. If you've got panko, if you've got breadcrumbs from your meatloaf a few weeks ago, that's fine. This happens to be some stuffing. I just crushed it up so it wasn't so chunky. It's just enough to give it a brown coating when you fry the rice balls. So what you're going to have ends up looking like this, and I'm going to show you how to make them. What you want to do is run the sink a little bit. We're going to be running it in the background here just a little, because you want to keep your hands nice and wet so that they don't stick to the rice. You also want to run your water because when you're in between breading things and you're touching eggs, you don't want to constantly be touching your faucet. So I'm going to take my rice, just a big chunk of it here. I'm going to roll it up. Now this part is where your kids can come in. It's great for them to help out. If they've ever worked with Play-Doh before, it's really easy to roll it into a ball. You want it about the size of the inside of your palm, kind of like a meatball that you'd get in an Italian restaurant. After you've made your ball, you just stick your finger on the inside and make a little pocket for it, a little hole. And you push in the little hole whatever you want to fry in the center. Now you can use leftover ham and cheese you might have had from sandwiches, anything that you see here, and you just stick it in the center and cover it back up. Give it a quick roll. You're going to toss it in your egg mixture, just a little. Let it kind of drain off on the side. You don't want it getting too much into your breadcrumbs. And then go ahead and roll it around in the breadcrumbs. Now this is easy, I said, for kids to do. If you have an older sibling that you want to help a younger sibling with dinner, this is easy for them to do while you're doing something else. This part of the recipe doesn't involve any of the stove or anything like that. So once you've made the breadcrumb mixture on the outside, you have a furry little ball like this, and you can put it onto your plate. Now I've sprayed my plate with a little bit of cooking spray just in case it happens to stick. And at this stage, you can either stop and refrigerate it until everybody comes home, or you can continue on and fry it now. Or if you need to, you can freeze these for later, like if you have a party coming up on the weekend. This recipe makes great bar food. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands a little bit with hot soap and water to get all that egg mixture off. And if you're ready to fry, you would have some oil getting ready on the stove here. I run it about 2 about 2 inches or so in a small pot like this, because you want it to be enough to cover the balls that you're putting in so that they brown evenly. You don't want to get half brown and half pale colored, so you want to be able to cover them up in there. I run canola oil, or I use vegetable oil, any kind of oil that you normally would fry things in, or you might already have on your kitchen, in your stove, something like that. That's what I would do. And I put it at about 325 degrees. You don't want it hot enough that it's going to burn the outside and brown the outside too much before the inside has been cooked all the way. So what you have in the end, after you've taken them out with like a slotted spoon, or what they call a spider like this, it's really good for when you're frying things. When you've taken them out, you have some little brown balls like this. And the inside is all nice and squishy and gooey for you. Now, kids love these. A little dab will do ya, so you only need a few per person, so you don't have to make 1,000 of them to have a good meal. And it's a great way to use leftovers of stuff you probably already have in your kitchen at home. So thanks for joining me. You can reach me on my website. Check me out at Naked City Sweets. Thank you.